The Weekly Driver podcast gets support from AmericanMuscle.com, your late model Mustang and F-150 authority, bringing you the hottest products and top-notch customer service for over a decade. No one makes it easier to modify your ride. Visit AmericanMuscle.com today for your chance to win a 2018 Mustang RTR Spec 3. Welcome to the Weekly Driver podcast. My name is James Rea. We're at the LA Auto Show this week. The first day of the show was called Auto Mobility, and today is kind of the calm before the storm. I've been walking around on the showroom floor. Tomorrow will be all the debuts of new cars, but today they have an outside tent with a lot of technology innovations in the automotive industry, and also some of the vendors are showing up today to get their displays ready. So I've had a chance to chat with 3 or 4 of those vendors all over the map, from electronic bicycle companies to a futuristic looking all electric truck to the new Amazon program, the Grand Tour. And we're going to go find some unique folks out in the automotive world today on day 1 of the LA Auto Show. I'm James Rea. Make sure to visit my website, www.theweeklydriver.com. Now on with the show. Hope you enjoy. I am with Jennifer Park. She's the co-founder of FAIR, which, the little bit I know about it, it's going to change the way that people can operate cars through all on the app to just take in my opinion, take the way that people lease, not buy, not lease, the way people use used vehicles on a whole different level. Is that fair enough? Or can you introduce me to FAIR? How about that?
Hi, yes. FAIR is a completely new way to get a car. It's all on your app. You can get the car, you get financed through the app, and you can basically do the entire process. Mm-hmm. It takes about 10 minutes. All the paperwork's on the phone, and you just go and pick up your car at the dealership. It's a complete end-to-end process.
And this is the way that some people in the automotive industry are seeing that the way that people used to get automobiles is an old school way, if you will. And this is a whole new thing that, to me, likely will remove some of the anxiety people have of the way that you walk into a car dealership and you get bombarded with not so pleasant things. This is a whole new...
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's a completely new way to do it. So it's a flexible ownership model.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear. Yes, flexible ownership. Yes.
Yes, we realize that the younger generations, they really don't want to own much anymore. There's not the idea of wanting to keep something longer than, even a year or so. And they want the ability to be able to go travel. They want the ability to move around, and they don't want to be stuck into a long-term commitment. Even a lease feels like a long-term commitment.
Yes, it does.
And that's 3 years. And it even feels like that, when I would do leases, that it feels like a long-term commitment.
Yes.
So we think that this is going to shorten the cycle. Mm-hmm. We're not necessarily thinking people are going to flip every couple months.
No.
But they want to have more flexibility, and they also want the freedom to try different brands, in which case, when you have a car for a long period of time, you're not looking at trying different manufacturers and different brands as much. You kind of stick to something safe that you know. Mm-hmm. And this gives people the discovery aspect, and it gives young drivers the flexibility to move in and out.
I saw one of your colleagues going through the app,
yes.
And immediately what I really liked about it is it's almost like they took the complicated world of apps and said, how can we streamline this and make it so simple that you pick the car, if you want insurance, if you don't want insurance, if you want this, if you want that, you push a button, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and basically you're done. I'm assuming that was on purpose.
Yeah, it takes a lot to make something simple, but it's very purposeful. So it has our design team, a lot of them are from Apple, so you see it has that Apple aesthetic.
Yes, it sure does. It sure does. Yeah.
But, what we also realize is drivers really know how much they want to spend monthly.
Yes.
They kind of have an idea. They want to spend $200, $250 monthly.
Sure.
And so we're really trying to consolidate it all into one monthly price. Mm-hmm. And so you have the availability just to look at cars specifically within your price range.
Yes.
In which case, then you can choose within that price range. You could add taxes. You could even add insurance.
Yes.
We give you warranty, maintenance, and roadside assistance included, and with all of our cars.
Yes.
And so that allows the pricing transparency for the consumer that makes it really great.
These are certified pre-owned cars. Do they go back 5 years, 10 years?
About 5 years.
About 5 years.
Yeah, they're under 50,000 miles.
Okay.
And so I like to call them nearly new.
Because I love it. I nearly
just
new.
got one for a truck for my husband, and I only had 7,000 miles on it.
Fantastic.
So to call it a used car just doesn't feel right.
No.
And we also realized that there are a lot of buyers that they may think that they want a new car, and they look at our app and they actually go, no, I actually like this. So
Right.
we don't want to definitely cut our segment in half when it's really available for everyone and allows people the flexibility and freedom that they're looking for.
Currently, you're involved with Southern California dealerships.
That's correct.
And then I understand you're going to go to the Bay Area. Is that a public thing now? Can you speak to that?
Yes, towards the end of the year. Yeah, we will be in San Francisco and the Bay Area, and also we'll be launching in San Diego too.
Okay.
So now we're currently in LA, but also Orange County and almost up to Ventura. Yeah.
So the 10-minute process, let's just take a hypothetical. I go online and I say, there is a BMW that I like. It's 3 years old and it's got 20,000 miles on it. And I go through all this stuff. Basically, I make the deal online. I go to the BMW. I leave with a car.
That's correct.
And there's no negotiation. There's no hassle.
No.
There's none of that. That's the beauty of it.
That's the beauty of it. It really allows a really nice process at the dealership because the money stuff is done already. You know what you're paying.
Yes.
I mean, that's where the negativity comes. It's trying to figure out, oh my gosh, what am I going to work out money-wise? Well, that's all handled. You're signing it through the app just as, a signature. All of your documents are within the app so you don't have to sit in and find in the F&I department. You don't have to sit in the back room. You don't have to wait.
Let's bring in the other guy, then bring in the other guy.
So that's all. And right when you decide that you're purchasing the car, you hit get car, and then we purchase it from the dealership.
Yes.
So it allows the use of the vehicle where you're paying monthly. All of that's done. It's through your account. It's being digitally taken out of your account monthly. So it's really quite easy.
Yes. The other beauty of it is, I believe that you provide a driver's license. You must provide, I'm sure, at some point your proof of insurance or something, or you can buy it. So it can work in different ways.
Yeah. So basically, when you get on the app, all you do is scan your driver's license.
Yes.
With that, we do a soft credit pull, so it does not hurt your credit at all.
Yes.
And then what's great about this is we show you the cars that you're already pre-approved or you're pre-qualified for.
Yes.
In which case, you're not seeing cars that you can't have. Right? You're not getting...
No wishful thinking. I could have kind of sort of could have had that one, but...
Right. We want to make sure it's really fair for the consumer. We really ask that question as a company on everything we do, and we're thinking about what's right for both the dealer partners and the consumers.
Sure. So, and lastly, a little bit about the internet that I know is you guys have the greatest URL, the word fair.
Yes.
What kind of process was that with what you can say about acquiring the name Fair, which is fantastic?
I have to give all the credit to Scott for that one. I mean, he's amazing. But yes, he did that early on. He knew how important that would be. And
a 4-letter URL is great. It's
pretty amazing. I mean, it really is the thing that drives our entire company, how we treat our employees, how we build our product, how can we, look at our relationships with all of our partners, and really just looking at what's the best for everyone so that everyone has a good...
I guess I should have asked early on, when did the company start? And is this your first time at the LA Auto Show? And what is the genesis of the company?
I worked at TrueCar with Scott.
Oh, you did? Okay, you worked at TrueCar,
I did all the advertising on the TrueCar side.
Okay.
So this is not my first rodeo here. But we started the company about a year ago, but we only launched in August.
August, so you're very new.
Very new.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you. Appreciate it. This is James Rea with the Weekly Driver Podcast. I'm at the first day of the LA Auto Show, which is actually called Automobility, and I'm with John King, and he is the builder and owner of Phantom Bikes. And I'm looking at this beautiful bike that everybody should have one of these. It's a one-off. It's called the Santa Fe Classic Series. John, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you.
What do you guys have going on here? You're a bicycle company, an electric bicycle company, and an automotive show. So that's a good entree. So tell me about it.
Well, we got invited to this show.
Great.
Which was really nice. And we decided let's bring the bikes and display them and show what we've got. We gear our bikes off of the old 1930 Harleys and Indians.
Fantastic.
That's where the era is. And so we kind of design around that. They I always build a one-of-a-kind every year, which is the one you see, the Santa Fe Classic.
Yes.
And we just hope we do really well and people enjoy it.
How do you describe this classic? Obviously, we're on audio, and I've taken some images, but it's not video. So it's this beautiful black with gold lettering and handcrafted trailer with wood paneling. So give me a description of this bike, if you would.
Well, it's an old style cruiser.
Yes.
Which has the side bags
Yes.
mounted on the side. We've mounted the battery for the whole electric system in the bag, so you don't see it on the bike.
Yes.
And then I built a custom teardrop trailer for it to pull, which matches everything, and it's done in wood and it painted black to match the bike.
Yes.
And I just love it.
What is the gearing on a bike like this? What's the charge range and things like that? Some of the specs.
It will under pedal assist. You can go close to 50 miles.
That's really good.
If you're just using the throttle, you're going to go 21 miles.
Yes.
It has a 3-speed internal hub.
Okay.
So and a mid-drive motor. So as you pedal, it takes off and goes, and then you can actually shift the gears, and so it's 3 speeds of power. It's not 3 speeds of pedaling.
Gotcha. So a little bit about your company. How long have you been around, and you have different lines of bikes? Can you give me a little bit about the history of the company and what you're doing otherwise, other than this beautiful centerpiece of your display here?
Well, I started in 2009 as a hobby, and I built gasoline bikes.
Oh, okay.
And I was out of a 10x10 shed.
I love it.
Just a little workshop.
Yeah.
Everybody seemed to love them, so I hired a friend of mine, and we came on and we started building them. And we were buying the bikes from everywhere we could think of. Walmart, Target.
Great.
And I finally decided I'm going to design my own frame. So I designed my own frame, and I came out with the version that you see here, which is, the classics, the Vision. We have one on the back walls called the R. And they just all started to fall together, and they came out beautiful.
Can you share some of the price ranges of these bikes?
Sure. They start. We have one here. Well,
yeah. It's okay.
You can't see it, but
no. It's
called the Swirl.
The Swirl. Okay.
And it's $1,400.
Yes.
And it's a step-through version.
Yes.
So
I almost said woman's bike, but that's kind of a terrible thing to say these days.
Yeah, exactly. So it is called a step-through.
Yes.
So people that just can't flip their legs over the bikes anymore, they can step through it.
Gotcha.
Beautiful, comfortable bike. It's $1,495. And it is a 7-speed.
7-speed, great.
Then it moves to our fat tire bike, which we call the Fat Track, and it goes for $1,700. Then it goes over to our Vision, which is our electric, cruising, very comfortable bike.
I love the script. That's a beautiful script.
And those go for $2,800. And then it goes to the Ghost R, the Phantom R.
Yes.
And those are $3,100.
Okay. And what have you found so far since the company's, 8 years old now? What have you found the marketplace for these? What kind of people are buying these bikes?
It started off as college kids.
Oh, okay.
And then all of a sudden it's moved to the older generation that remembers the era of the bikes.
Ah, okay.
And whether they ride them or not, they say, it's just a beautiful piece of art.
It's Americana in a way, huh?
Right.
Yeah. And if you went back in the day and you talked about Indian, of course, people might remember the great movie where that was prominent. Do these bikes look like some of the smaller versions of those?
They do.
Yeah. Okay.
They do.
Okay, with the big headlight and
the double springer front end.
Double springer front end. Yes. What is your background? How did you come to be designing bikes? Did you have a mechanical background or training, or were you a racer?
No. I used to race motorcycles back in the day, 14 years ago. When I was 14 years old.
Yes.
No, I've just had this knack of looking at something and building it.
A knack that I don't have, but congratulations.
Yes,
That's fantastic.
I can see something already finished.
Yes.
Before I even build it.
You're a savant.
In a way.
So,
but business is my basic background.
I see. And I'm sorry, what did you say you're based again?
This is in San Diego.
In San Diego.
Yes.
With all the beaches and the lifestyle down there, I imagine it's a pretty popular.
It is. It's very popular.
And so you've only been here the first day. Are people? Do you think someone's going to? Is the Santa Fe Classic for sale, or is this going to be your bike, or what's the?
No, this one is actually going to go to Arizona for the Barrett Jackson car auction.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
and then it'll be put up there, not for auction, but for sale.
For sale, great. And is there an opening bid? Can you say yet?
It's going to be probably close to $4,100.
$4,100,
which is not that bad.
No, I mean look at the intricate detail of this bike. It's fantastic. What are the wheels on that? What kind of tires and stuff?
They're 26-inch wheels, which is your standard wheel for a bicycle.
Yes.
And they're 2.35 wide, so they're wider than your normal tire.
Yes, they are. And you did it from you did everything on this bike.
Everything.
Oh my gosh. And what is it when you ride the bike or any of your bikes? What does the feel like to somebody like I have a hybrid mountain bike? What would be the difference of riding that along the American River Parkway in Sacramento to riding this? What would be? Can you make a general comparison?
Yeah, on a mountain bike style bike, you're leaning forward.
Yes.
And you're kind of crouched over the front center tube.
That's true.
On these bikes, you're sitting more upright, and it's just more of a pleasant ride. It's very comfortable, very easy to ride.
Yes. Okay.
The way I designed the frames, they're about almost 3 inches longer than a standard bicycle.
Oh, that's good to know.
So your elbows aren't tucked into your side of your ribs when you're riding it.
Yes.
You're more stretched out.
Yeah, for older guys, it's a more comfortable ride. I'm saying yes.
Right.
Yeah, I think with a regular bike not being more of a runner than a cyclist, even if on a bike if you move the seat, 2 centimeters, and you move the bar. I mean, it makes all the difference in the world with little small increments. But this looks very, very comfortable with a nice wide seat for a good sized rear end.
Exactly.
So, what do you think people will use the trailer for? Their dogs, for groceries, or
probably for groceries. We have in the back. We have a basket with a picnic basket with a blanket.
Yes. Oh, great.
So. You throw a couple Perrier waters in there, and
or something else.
Or something else. So
Great.
A bottle of nice, Chardonnay.
You bet.
And head to the park.
I'm thinking if you could get 2 people on that bike and you showed up for a first date on that bike, I think that it would be a good first date. You probably have a second date.
Tell your date she's in the trailer.
That's right. That's right. I'm here with a guy in a tight skin suit, and you are, sir.
I'm Daz, and I'm one of the Grand Tour Mayhem lads.
And why are you here, and what's going on with the company and those 3 guys who are pretty famous, and they're going to have a new series, so tell me about that, if you could.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so we're here promoting the Grand Tour, which is the new Season 2, which is coming out on Amazon Prime Video.
Yes.
And that's going to be December 8th.
Okay, and does it have lots of episodes? Is it why is it different than previous? And can you give us a little tease on what's going to happen in the first episode?
Sure, it's 10 episodes.
Yep.
And the boys have been changing it up from Season 1.
Yes.
They've dropped a few of the things that didn't work. They're promoting some new ideas. And it's going to be the usual mayhem, chaos that we've come to expect and love from these 3 guys.
Is it super secret, or can you share one of the new things?
Super
secret.
It's all super secret at the moment, and we just want people to tune in to Amazon and catch all the episodes.
I saw a little teaser, and they were going down a ski slope, and it looked like they lost the brakes or something along those lines, which fits into their mayhem.
Yeah, I saw that as well. So, yeah, I was having a little chuckle to myself about that one. Look, the boys are definitely trying to change it up. Do different things, obviously.
Yes.
But they do it in their own way, in their own style, and it's what people have come to know and their fans around the world love.
Yes. This is the 2nd season?
It is indeed.
With Amazon, it will be once a week, but if you'd like to, you can go back to Season 1 and watch the episodes, if I understand that correctly.
Correct. You can watch all the old episodes from Season 1, stream them all at once, but the new episodes from Season 2 will come on once a week.
Okay, I'm gonna try a little harder. Can anybody say what vehicle that they're using on one episode? We can't say that yet. Okay.
No.
All right, what should the public expect this year? What would be, other than Mayhem, which is a good thing, what else would you suggest that the public might be seeing on December 8th? December 8th is the debut.
Bigger laughs, more explosions, more cars being destroyed.
Fantastic. That was perfect. Thank you for your help. Appreciate it.
Welcome.
My name is James Rea. I'm the editor and publisher of theweeklydriver.com. And this morning, the first thing I saw on the first day of the LA Auto Show and you walk down the main street is this very unique looking Bollinger, named after Mr. Bollinger. And I'm with Jeff Holland, who is the communications director of this very unique vehicle. So good morning, Jeff. Could you tell us a little bit about the Bollinger? The Bollinger. Bollinger?
Yeah, it's Bollinger.
Bollinger.
He likes to pronounce it Bollinger, like bowling.
Thank you.
Different pronunciation, but yeah, this is the Bollinger B1. We just announced it or showed it off to the world on July 27th at a small media party in New York City.
Yes.
Which is where the company's based. It was built in the Catskills area of New York State. It's a on-in, off-road, kind of a go-anywhere, do-anything, purpose-built vehicle. And if you see pictures online, or if you watch some of the videos that we've done, we took it out to Moab a couple weeks ago to do some testing. But this is a serious off-roading vehicle, and it's purpose-built for that. We've got portal axles, inboard brakes. It's all electric. There's two different battery options right now. We've got a 60 kilowatt battery pack that's good for 120 miles range, and we've got a bigger battery pack, about 100 kilowatts, that's good for about 200 miles range. So if you're out crawling around the desert or rock crawling or out in the farm, this is a vehicle that's built purposely for that.
How did the concept come about to the owner of the company? What was he going for, and how long had it been in the works in terms of designing and planning, and when will it be available to the public?
Yeah, Robert Bollinger comes from an industrial design background. Actually worked for an ad agency for about 20 years in New York City, and had this idea. He owns a cattle farm up in the Catskills area of New York, which is where he's from, and wanted a vehicle that could kind of do the things that he needed to do for his farm work. He had an old Chevy Silverado 2500 that gets stuck in the snow, and he
fantastic. Yeah.
He just said, why hasn't anybody built something like what he needs to get around the farm with? So that was kind of the inception of the idea back in 2014. So 3 years later, now you're looking at this, and we got it built and designed and engineered in his shop up there, and then we're here at the LA Auto Show to show it off to the public for the first time.
So obviously we're not on video, but we're on audio, and we spoke earlier. It reminded, and you reminded me of it, that it reminded me of the old International Harvesters, and it's got some resemblance to maybe an old Jeep or some other. So what do you when you look at this car, this vehicle, what do you think of it overall in terms of what does it remind you of?
Yeah, people call. I mean, I've heard all different things from International Harvester to Ford Bronco, Ford Broncos.
Yes.
Like you said, Land Rover Defender. Maybe the early the P90 versions of it, but it's a very kind of boxy vehicle, and that's because of the utility. The door panels come off, the roof comes off, you can make a half cab out of it, the seats are flip and fold in the rear. It's got a unique pass-through. 12 feet from stem to stern, because there's no motor up front, there's no traditional internal combustion engine. That's all up in the front. They call it a front, like a front trunk, I guess.
And front trunk, I love it.
There's a pass-through that goes all the way down the spline or the middle of the vehicle from stem to stern. It's about 12 feet, so if you've got 2x4s or pipe or skis or what have you that you need to put there, it's just extra storage and kind of a unique concept for a truck.
I'm looking at it and I'm thinking how open it looks. And you mentioned that the doors come off, and it just looks like there's absolutely no blind area at all. It's just has a very open and visual appeal inside and out.
In fact, it even has a panoramic glass roof, which is even, you can take those out too, or you can put another aluminum top on it if you live in places like Phoenix or Southern California here where it gets a little hot. You might not want glass shining through all the time, but that's another option for people.
Now we're Tuesday at the auto show, and tomorrow on Wednesday the company has an afternoon press conference. And you're not going to spill the beans, but what will the press conference attendees likely hear about?
You'll probably hear some new options on the battery pack, and maybe hinting at some of the pricing that we might have. We had planned on doing a full announcement, but we've had to change some suppliers. As a startup company, we started this a couple years ago, and this technology's been evolving over the past couple years since we started the project. Everything's improved, gotten better, so we've had to kind of update on the fly with some of the stuff that we had originally designed for the vehicle. So that's where we're at.
I see. Can you say, if depending upon what you announce tomorrow, can you say what kind of charging time the vehicle has?
Yeah, so it's got 3 different charging ports. It's got a DC fast charge, which can charge the battery from 0 to full charge in about 45 to 65 minutes.
Wow, really? That's quick.
And we've got the traditional, the J1772 universal plug that's good for a 110 or a 220. On a 220, it takes about 7 or 8 hours to charge it, but if you drive it to work during the day or take it out to the store, whatever you do with it, you come back, plug it home or plug it in at home, especially out here in Southern California. There's charging outlets everywhere. You go to Walmart, you go to the grocery store, you can can get a quick charge there while you're in shopping, or again overnight at home. You can plug it into your wall and charge it overnight.
Great. And let's see, what else? Will it be available nationwide or in select cities? And how many might they build?
Yeah, we've got about 12,000 pre-orders right now.
12,000?
12,000 hand raiser pre-orders from our website. And you go to BollingerMotors.com if you're interested. It's a zero down. There's no money that we take until we announce the price. But if you're interested in the vehicle and keeping up to what we're doing and getting updates through the newsletter, you can sign up for that. And we plan on having it produced and manufactured in the United States and Canada to start with. It's going to go through certification and compliance work to meet the Federal Motor Vehicle Standards early next year, and that'll certify it for on-road use and get a VIN number and insurance and all that stuff that you need to produce an on-road vehicle. And that'll be done so we can start getting them out in people's hands probably around 2019, 2020.
Great. Now, looking around the car, other than the fact that it's this beautiful electronic multitasking truck, what about the wheels? What about some other features that the vehicle has that you could explain?
Yeah, so again, the suspension's really beefy. It's got portal axles, which are kind of inboard axles for better off-roading. It's got hydropneumatic suspension, which can raise and lower the suspension from about 10-inch ride height up to about 20 inches, which is extremely high.
That's really high, yeah.
Best in class. The wheels and tires are BF Goodrich mud terrain tires for rock crawling and getting outside. For production, you'll probably have more standard street tire options that people can use. But we just kind of did it for the look and feel of the vehicle, and because it looks beefier with the cool tires on it. Again, everything's detachable. You can take the doors off. You can take the windows off. The windows are sliding glass, kind of unique. And then on the interior, you've got the HVAC system. It does have air conditioning, heater. People do ask about that.
Yes.
And it's got kind of a reticulating dashboard vents or heaters where you can turn it forward. You have to kind of look online at some of the pictures.
Yes, of course.
You can turn the vents forward to defrost the window if it's cold out, or you can face it toward you for air conditioning and heat. And it's also got some wheel well kind of traditional heater vents on the bottom for the footwells.
Now, is this what we're looking at? Is this a prototype? And will the vehicle come in this gunmetal gray only, or do you have other plans for other colors?
Yeah, well, if you ask our owner Robert, he's kind of like Henry Ford. He's like, you can have any color as long as it's gray.
I love it. I love it.
He really likes this color scheme. If you see a lot of the photos that we do are kind of black and white. That's in line with the brand. There will be other colors offered. We haven't announced them yet, but there will be other colors for production. I'm sure people that want to have a vehicle like this maybe want to make it a little unique on their own. They may paint it themselves a different color, something cool to make it a little bit more unique to themselves.
Yes. Now, did I call it the right color? Is it gunmetal gray? Or
it's called Gunhouse Gray. And
Gunhouse Gray, yes.
Where the manufacturing facility is right now, it's on Gunhouse Road.
Oh, fantastic.
So he called it Gunhouse, but it is kind of a gunmetal type of a gray. It's a PPG paint color.
Has anybody commented when you've taken it out, or you had the minor press conference, not minor, I shouldn't say, the small press conference, and what were some of the reactions of the public when they saw this coming down the road, and how has the public reacted in awe, and like, oh, that's so ugly, or that's beautiful, or what kind of a reaction have you had?
Well, design's subjective, so you get some people that say, it's a little too boxy for them, but I think on the whole, it's been 90-something% positive. You look at social media, our Facebook page, people that follow us on Twitter and watch the videos on YouTube, overwhelmingly positive for what this vehicle has been since it's come out in July. The people at the show obviously wrote about it like you're talking about, just kind of this multifunctional, useful type of an off-road, on-road vehicle in the vein of an old Land Rover. We had actually the Ford designer over at, we were at SEMA a couple weeks ago in Las Vegas. We had Paul, who's designing the next Ford Bronco for Ford, and he was over crawling around taking pictures. We had
you bet he was.
The Honda technology guy over here asking questions about it. The guy from General Motors did a report on it for his full-size truck team. So there's a lot of interest both from the public and from traditional automakers who just see it as a very unique vehicle and something that hasn't been around for a while. You haven't had this kind of looking vehicle in a long time because I think aerodynamics kind of play a part in things. You got fuel economy and all that kind of stuff. But with an all-electric vehicle, it's not so important, especially for a vehicle like this, because you're running on electricity, and if you've got a 200-mile range, that's more than enough for most people that would use in a day.
I guess, and the last question is kind of, in the whole electronic vehicle industry, obviously it's booming, and some are going to make it, some aren't going to make it, but there has been some backlash because, without naming names, there have been some companies that haven't come to fruition yet. So have you, in your world, in this wonderful world of Bollinger, Have you experienced some backlash with that?
Well, I think we're trying to do it in a smart way. You know,
Yes.
we're not paying $1 billion for a factory, an old GM or a Ford factory. As
Yes,
some of them
yes,
have done.
yes.
We're not staffing up with 1 million people. We're using a third-party engineering firm that's going to design and engineer for production. We're working with the building materials right now on
Yes.
how to do this kind of the most cost-effective way without losing the brand philosophy and what the truck is all about, which
Yes.
is a heavy-duty kind of an off-roading type of a vehicle. So I think we're doing it. We're going about it in kind of a different way than a lot of the other, maybe some of the Chinese manufacturers that come in and
Yes.
buy a big facility and have thousands of people. We're a small shop and we're trying to be smart about every decision that we make.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Jeff, for joining us on the Weekly Driver Podcast. This is a fantastic vehicle. I think I'm going to have to go on the site and put my name in for maybe getting a shot at one. If you ever come back to the West Coast, I want to go for a ride.
Please do.
Or a drive.
Please do.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right.
We'll get you in there. Thanks.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much,
Jeff.
Jeff. The Weekly Driver Podcast receives support from AmericanTrucks.com, your late model Silverado, Sierra, Ram, and F-150 online aftermarket retailer, bringing you all of the hottest parts from accessories to lift kits, from wheels to tires and winches. AmericanTrucks.com has the knowledge and know-how to make your wildest dreams come to reality. Visit AmericanTrucks.com for your chance to win $17,760 in upgrades for your truck.